Hello, welcome to this video. This time I'm going to talk about 4 limiting beliefs that create all of suffering. I'm going to describe what is a belief, what is a limiting belief, what is a useful belief, and I'm going to pick apart the 4 limiting beliefs and I'm going to share some alternative perspectives. Now, what is a belief? To me, a belief is a package of thoughts that tries to describe how reality works. And this package can work like a lens or a filter. And when we perceive through this lens, this belief will mold our perception. We can take the figure of a prism. When we shine light through a prism, this prism will mold the light so it looks like a rainbow. It's the same thing with our perception. When we perceive through belief, this belief molds our perception so it alters our perception in one way or another. A limiting belief is a belief that either distorts our perception, so our perception becomes misaligned to the natural unfoldment of reality, or the belief is constraining our ability to perceive all that we can be. So a limiting belief can be the belief I can't. This I can't is a blockage in our ability to become what we want to become or perceive what we want to perceive. Then there are the useful beliefs, because the belief can be an enhancer, so we can tune this lens so that we can perceive more of ourselves. Just like we can tune a lens in a telescope or a microscope so we can perceive more of our physical reality. It's the same with our consciousness. So a belief that I deserve, for example, these beliefs can enhance our abilities and they can enhance our perception. Ultimately, all beliefs are false, and the only thing that is true is that reality is. But living in this reality construct with this human body-mind, here it's very important to be conscious of what kind of beliefs that we subscribe to. So we need to be conscious of the limiting beliefs that we hold to be true, and we can start to uproot them, and we need to be conscious of how we can install positive beliefs or useful beliefs so we can easily navigate this reality construct and create the life that we so desire. Now, let's move into the 4 limiting beliefs that create all of our suffering. First of all, we have belief in separation. Then the second one is belief in powerlessness. The third one is belief in unfairness. The fourth one is belief in imperfection. We'll start with the first one, belief in separation. Most people feel separate in one way or another. They feel separate from their fellow men and they feel separate from the world at large. And this belief in separation can create a lot of alienation, and one can feel cut off from the flow of life. One can feel lonely and so on. But this belief is only relatively true. It is true in the sense that I have this experience here of this body, this room, and I'm this Lucas character making a YouTube video. And you are in your own environment with your own body. But if we start to move our attention inwardly, away from this individualization in the outward projection, and we move our attention inward, away from the I am Lucas into I am, into the true I at the core. And if both of us do this, we will move into the same place. We share the same true I. So if we take a look at this figure here, if I identify with the orange line here and I perceive from the point outward, I will feel like the other lines are outside of me and different from me. But if I move my attention inwardly, I will eventually see that all of these different lines share the same figure. So it's a matter of perspective, that either we see 8 lines, 8 different beings, or we see one figure and one being. So this is one way of how we can start to perceive oneness. But there are also different kinds of oneness. And I talk a lot about non-duality on this channel, so I've shared other ways to perceive oneness in other videos. So let's move on to the next one. Belief in powerlessness. Well, this one can be very, very heavy. And this is when we feel that we do not have the power to change our life. We do not have the power to create the life we desire. If we do not have a job and we feel powerful, this would not be a problem because we know that we can get a job, or we know that we can create a job. But if we feel powerless, we feel like we cannot change this situation, and this can be very difficult, and this can create a lot of suffering. Or if we feel lonely, we desire a partner, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and we feel like we lack the means to attract a partner. This can be very difficult, but if we felt powerful, we know that we can change this situation. We know that we can attract a partner where we can co-create a nice life together. So, why do we feel powerless? Well, to me, we are creator being. We are immensely powerful creatures. We create all of our life. And to me, we are so powerful that we can create the illusion, the experience that we are powerless. And how can this look? Well, if we look at this figure here have a powerful sun within his heart. And this sun just radiates power. But this being have a lot of negative beliefs that are blocking this sun from expanding and radiating. So this person cannot feel all of his power because he contracts this power in all of his negative beliefs. And these negative beliefs can be the belief, I can't, I do not deserve, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not talented enough. All of these beliefs are what contracts our power. We can create our own life, and we can create the life of our dreams, but we have to let go of these limiting beliefs that limit our connection to our inner power. All of us have the opportunity and the choice of uprooting these negative beliefs and come into connection with our inner power, because all of us have an immense source of power to change and transform our life, to align our life with our own dreams. Now let's move on to the third one, belief in unfairness. And this can be quite sensitive for a lot of people. But most of us, we believe that life is unfair, that life favors some people and not others, that there are winners in life and losers in life. Well, to me, all of life is a game of resonance. Everything is built on resonance. And I've talked about in the past that all of the outward reality is a reflection and a mirror to our inner reality. We get what we give. If we send out feelings and thoughts, beliefs of lack, of victimhood, and so on, this can attract this kind of outward projection of what we hold in our inner reality. If we very powerfully believe that we are a victim and we charge this belief with a lot of emotion, well, this will create a resonance to a perpetrator, because the victim and a perpetrator attract each other, because both of them fulfill the same creation, the same construct. So they need each other. If we believe that we are a victim, we will attract a perpetrator, as well as the perpetrator will attract a victim. So we will resonate with each other. And this is how we create our own reality. Most of us do this unconsciously. We do not really know how we communicate with reality and how we create reality from our actions, from our thoughts and our emotions. We usually think that the only thing that matters is our behavior, but our thoughts and our emotions are also communication tools with reality. We need to be conscious of what kind of thoughts, what kind of beliefs that we hold, and what kind of emotions we hold, because all of these are our language that we speak to reality with. And if we speak very negatively, we will project a negative outward reality that will reflect our inner reality. there's one more thing to talk about unfairness and fairness. It's that we, as human beings, do not have the complete context for our life. What we think is bad or good can, from our deeper soul aspect, be the opposite. And it's difficult to see the complete picture. So we need to be humble when we judge our experience as either good or bad, because we do not really know what is good or bad from a wider, a larger perspective. Now let's go into the last one, the fourth one, belief in imperfection. This is the ultimate limiting belief. This is the mother of all limiting beliefs, that all other limiting beliefs are held onto. Now, the whole idea of imperfection is born and created from the separate egoic mind. If we are living in oneness, in the one without a second, there will be no alternatives to what is. So everything would be contained in the now moment, and we would not project any alternatives to this. So we would not even project the idea of perfect or imperfect. This is prior to the whole notion of perfection or imperfection. But when we fragment our mind, when we separate our mind, we can create a perspective and an idea that something should be otherwise. So here we create the idea of imperfection in separation. We can also look at this when we go down a step. We move into the conceptual reality and take a look at imperfection from this place. Well, imperfection is born from our human mind, where we have a very limited idea of what's going on. We see everything from a very narrow context and a very short time frame. So something that we say is imperfect or bad, when we expand the perspective, usually we can see that this thing that we said was bad actually serves us. If I lose my job, for example, this can be seen as imperfect, as bad. But then when we expand the time frame, we can see that losing my job gave me the opportunity to get a new job. And this new job gives me a better salary. My colleagues are much nicer, and my boss do not yell at me like my older boss. So what we can see here is that me losing this job, me seeing this situation as imperfect, was just a very narrow-minded, very short-sighted perspective of the whole situation that led me to getting a new job that actually serves me. It's all a matter of perspective. If we take a look at this figure here, if we ascend this ladder, the higher up the ladder we climb, the further we can see into the distance. And when we see from this very low place, from a very small context, a very narrow time frame, we will see most things as imperfect. But the higher up we climb, the larger context we have to perceive the whole situation, well, the more perfection we will see. The statement, if you can't see the perfection, you're too close to the picture, beautifully describes this whole idea, that the more we expand the context of what's going on, the more we are able to perceive the whole picture, the more we are able to perceive how everything fits together to serve us, and everything works to our own advantage. So life in this way can be perceived to be perfect. All of these four limiting beliefs have their relative merits within the human perspective, and we can see how many people are entangled within the contracting realities of these limiting beliefs. So we can still have our compassion and our understanding for all beings who are in one way or another entangled within these beliefs. But we also have the opportunity to be free from these beliefs, and we can take the higher perspective where these beliefs do not dominate us and we are free of them. We can have our compassion and our understanding at the same time as we have the peace and our freedom from letting go of these beliefs and seeing through them and seeing them as false. When we start to see these beliefs as false and seeing through them, we can start to see ourself and reality as we really are. We can see reality as one, powerful, fair, and perfect. And that was all I had to say about this topic. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.